What's going on? Cole Connor here. Today I want to talk about how I color grade my luxury real estate videos with Davinci Resolve. Let's get into it.
My name is Cole Connor and I was put here to do three things: create, inspire, love. Thanks for being here. Let's get into it.
So now we're into a project timeline, and first off, I'm not even trying to act like I'm an expert, okay? I think you could probably color grade much better. This is just a quick color grade that I do with my videos. I got a little system. I think it looks solid. Always trying to improve, but this is what I do. And in Davinci Resolve, I know you can use nodes and all these things. I've honestly done it where I don't utilize the nodes, mostly because I don't quite understand them fully, and I've been on Davinci Resolve for like a year or two and I still don't understand them fully. I'm sure that I will figure them out eventually, but I haven't figured them out yet. So this is what I do. So I use a DJI Mini 4 Pro for this one particularly, and then I have a Sony a7S III, which is what I shoot all my other footage on. And the first thing I always do is I go in, I take the DJI, I put the LUT, DJI Phantom 4 log. You can use any of the LUTs. This is my favorite one. For example, you could see the differences here, up to your preference. I think it's pretty obvious which one looks the best. But yeah, so I use that one. Then for these other Sony videos, depends on your camera, but I go to the LUT built in, I go to Sony, and I use the S-Log3 to Cine 2LC 709. Pretty much the S-Log Rec 709 LUT, and that takes my footage and makes it look decent there. And I always shoot in S-Log3, picture profile 9 on the A7S III, and then just D-Log with the drone. So, pretty simple. What I'm going to go to is almost all of my exterior footage. I just copy and paste my settings. So let's go to the color grade section. Boom. I like these bright colors. I like that the shadows are up a little bit. It's not super natural, like for example, like it looks almost like HDR. Boom. Yeah, so let me show you what I do to go from that to this to that. And I pretty much put that with minor adjustments on every exterior shot. So what I'm doing is making it a little warm. Usually, like, I just think that looks kind of cool, and it also looks a little green, so I put the pinks up, and I could probably even go more if I wanted to. But yeah, this is what I ended up sending to the client. I make the contrast a little bit. You see? Boom. I changed the pivot. I changed the detail to a little bit sharper, depending on the shot, really, and depending on the property, but I liked it a little sharper here. Shadows, I up the shadows. I turn the highlights down. Don't always have to do that. It just depends on the shot. It's also different for shots that show the sky, which we can go over in a second. Then if I go over here to the curves section, I affected the hue of the green. You can barely tell. But it's pretty much changing the yellows and the green just a little bit. And I don't think for this shot really it was that noticeable. Then we go to the saturation. For the exterior, I don't mess with it, but I did up the saturation a little bit here. And I believe that sometimes I mess with the curves, but I didn't here. Okay, boom. So if we go to some of these other shots, like this one shows the sky. I didn't really affect it that much. I didn't change it here. Now we're switching from these drone shots, which are usually pretty simple. I honestly just copy and paste that. Then we're going to ground shots. And it looks like I changed the tint a little bit differently, but the saturation's all the same. And then, yeah, I didn't really need to do much here. So obviously the sky is a little, it's not quite blown out, but it's not as clear as I would like it to be. So that's the standard shot without any on it. I am actually not 100% sure how to make it look how I want to yet. It might be how I shot it, or maybe like you could go, maybe we'll figure something out on the spot. Go here. That helps a little bit. We do that, and then we could go blues, possibly. Yeah, there are ways where I could make that sky pop a little more. Maybe even messing with some of the curves. I'll probably have to create a mask to make it look exactly how I want. But anyways, I did not do that. What I did was I just copied and pasted it. And so, yeah, that actually looks a little bit better with what I did. So if I would have spent more time on it, I could have made these the color grading a little better. But yeah, let's move forward. I don't want this video to be too long. So yeah, same concept on all these, all the exteriors. I probably, some of the ones that are more close up, I feel like I probably did some different stuff. Yeah, I cut the saturation down a little bit because I didn't want, this was not a yellow roof and there was some yellow coming through. I didn't like that. Okay, now when we go inside, it's a little differently. And I don't always love how the inside stuff looks, and I'm still trying to figure out how to make it look exactly how I want it to look. For example, these shots have a lot of, there's just a lot of yellow everywhere, and it's okay sometimes because the house did have a lot of that going on, like with some of these lights, some of those reflections. So it's just really tough when you have all these yellows going on. But overall, I'm pretty happy with how this one turned out. So let's look at, let's say, this shot here. Just some of these shots. Yeah. You see how it's like super not yellow and it's more yellow over here. That's just the lighting, and that's kind of what it looked like. But let's take a look. Okay, so this is without anything. That's what it looked. I think it's looking super dull and not as beautiful as it actually is. So what I did was make the temperature a little more cool, the tint a little more pink, contrast. I've changed the pivot a little bit. You see kind of what that does. I made on the inside the sharpness less. Highlights usually down, a little bit of shadow up, and a little bit of saturation up. But if we go to the curves, I took the yellows out more. So for this shot, it doesn't make a huge difference, so that's fine, but sometimes it really does. Hues staying the same, didn't change much here. Now I feel like maybe this shot, let's see, still the same. So it looks like I kind of copied and pasted a lot of similar, so I kind of copied and pasted the same thing across these rooms, which I think it looks pretty good. I feel pretty good about it, but I know I could do better. That's like with all the stuff, is you could spend hours and hours and hours doing it and make it look like perfect, like make the outside super clear, maybe brighten this up with all these masks and things, but I don't think they're necessary for what I'm doing. And when I'm trying, it's more about getting it done and getting it out there, making sure the quality is good, but it doesn't have to be like a movie, you know. I'm trying to see. Yeah, I might not have done anything else. It might have been like a straight copy and paste job. Yeah, so it's super simple. Once you get something that you like, which I mean, you can see my settings here for what I'm doing, boom, just use it. I mean, maybe what I could do if I wanted to make it better, like I actually think I could up the saturation, and I guess you can't go to the shadows too much, but I think that would look pretty good. And I could even go brighter in some shots. So I'm just making like micro adjustments, but see, that's too blue, so sometimes you have to worry about that. You can see that I made that adjustment there. I made this one like a no temperature change, probably because, yeah, exactly. It doesn't need that much, but it does look green, kind of. So I think it's smart to have the pinks up a little bit in here too. So yeah, and then back to the outside shots. It's really that simple. You don't have to have anything crazy. You don't have to connect all these different nodes. Of course, you can have more effects. Of course, you can do like glow effects, and you can do color masks and add all these things on the different nodes. But I don't think it has to be complicated. It can be super simple, and it can still look high quality. Let me know if this makes sense. Let me know if this is helpful. I know this is like an easy way to do it, and I'm sure there's a ton of y'all that are way smarter and more knowledgeable with DaVinci Resolve. But let me know if this helps. Okay.
Hi there, thanks for watching. If you really liked it, maybe you'll like some of these too. While you decide, here's some music. Enjoy!